to have a nuclear family is very frowned upon by society. It's very, very frowned upon by society. And if you start getting the word out about that, they'll try to influence your woman because they go for the woman first. She's easier to emotionally control as opposed to the man. They'll use the woman as a proxy to then get to the man and then demolish this nuclear family. But I want you to think about this for a second. The nuclear family benefits nobody except for the kids, the wife, and the father. For example, a nuclear family, keep in mind, a nuclear family, man goes to work, makes that bread, brings it home. One could say she cooks it up or she slices it up, toasts it up, whatever. Kids are taken care of. They have the mother and the father. I saw a stat like 45% of all households in Canada are kids being raised by single mothers. And again, my mom did the best that she could with me. I love my mom with all my heart. I really do believe that. She did the best that she could, but she's not my dad. And all the things that I know and that I learned to becoming a man were not from my father, or were not from my mother. They were from my father. Right? My dad did a very good job of preparing me for the real world. And if I had zero male influence, my dad was completely gone from my life from 0 until 18, I could not imagine what kind of a tofu-loving soy boy liberal that I would be. So, keeping that picture in mind, who benefits? Well, the government cannot tax two incomes. They can only tax one income. The universities cannot produce cash flows by deploying useless degree programs to facilitate $50,000 of student debt. Think about this. You go $50,000 into student debt at University of Manitoba, Wilfrid Laurier University, UBC. I know different universities charge different amounts, but let's just use $50,000 as a nice little benchmark. So now you have that debt that you have to pay off. You're going to now be a slave to the system because you have to now get a job after that probably doesn't pay what the wages should be to then pay off that debt. And then on top of that, they're having more and more and more degrees every single year, further devaluing the currency of that degree. The reason why degrees were so valuable once upon a time was because nobody had them. If you got a degree, we need somebody with a degree that knows their shit. Everybody has a business degree now. Hell, I did 2 years of a 4-year program for a business degree, right? Everybody has a liberal arts degree. Everybody has a gender family studies degree or some bullshit marketing degree. It doesn't have value anymore. But the university cannot produce cash flows if they don't indoctrinate the women to say, you have to go get a career because, well, you wouldn't want a man to be financially abusive, aka setting a budget, right? What if your man decides to move on because you got fat and 300 pounds? God forbid you have some self-control and don't become 300 pounds and looking like a upside down uppercase Q. Got to go to university. The lawyers don't make money navigating through a nasty divorce. The lawyers want your wife to hate you and to take you to cleaners because they make more money. Also, they then pay more taxes, more money to the government, to the system. The banks cannot finance your stupid, useless degrees, right? The entire system is built on debt and consumerism. If you're not going to university getting in debt, the banks can't facilitate making money off that. No social workers having employment for broken homes. That sucks for them. The media can't paint an us versus them narrative as it is the man and the woman versus the media as opposed to the man versus the woman through the media. The government cannot manipulate the woman for welfare state votes, aka the Liberal Party of Canada or the Democrats in the United States. The commerce sector cannot profit from increased dual consumer spending. And when you consider that women make up, I believe it's like 80% of the consumer market. Women spend 80% of all dollars in North America. It's a huge chunk being taken away. And then every liberal government requires single, victim-minded, unmarried, childless, feminist women to vote for them to remain in power. If you empower them to link up with a man and to serve the man in the family, to think more conservative, and to have kids to think long-term, they lose their entire voting base. There would be literally no liberal voters. And finally, the school system, which gets the most influence over your kids. So if your woman is having a degree and she has to work the same way that you do, you have to put your kid in daycare, which is run by the state or the system. Then you put them into elementary school, state of the system. High school, same thing. Then they go to university, same thing, all run by women. There's really no males in those spaces. Even when I was in university, there's really no men. It was all women for the most part, especially through the elementary high school system. So then you graduate at 25 from the university system with zero male influence. I'm so thankful. First off, my dad was a real man about raising me and taught me some really hard lessons. My mom and I don't agree on all of his parenting tactics, but God damn it, did my father ever raise me in a way that set me up for the real world. And also, I had some very harsh, very tough coaches on me when I was playing hockey. Keep in mind, I played 4 years of professional hockey. You can't do it by being a soy boy, being soft. God helps them who help themselves. I had a lot of coaches along the way that were very hard, very critical on me, that turned me into the best version of me. And that male influence is what shaped me in my life as a man. Hockey is the measuring stick to life. Because at the end of the day, there is nothing more scary than a woman telling your kids, wait till your dad gets home. You want me to tell your father? You bet your ass I shit my pants whenever my mother would say, you want me to tell your dad? Oh, no. Please don't tell my dad. You're smarting your ass up. Right? Because when the man and the woman are together, this is becoming harder and harder and harder to find, but it is truly the ultimate dynamic to insulate your kids and to raise them properly and stop them from becoming indoctrinated by society's programming. I don't give a shit if my kids are good or bad for society. I care if they are good in this family, in this household, and they instill the values that I believe in. Because I don't give a shit about society. I'm at the point where I'm convinced everything in society is bullshit. If you believe and do the opposite of what they tell you, you'll be fine. You'll do very well. But the secret sauce as a man to avoiding this is don't get married young, don't have kids young, don't get into a bunch of debt, don't own anything, keep flexible, stay maneuverable, a location-independent business. Because I think the debt crisis is coming to a head this year, and having this flexibility is going to be very key. And if you are locked into a home, a house, a soul-crushing job, cars, etc., with child support coming along the way, you are never going to leave. You have no optionality to leave Canada and the direction that it's going. But please let me know in the comment section. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What has your experience been? Can you relate to everything that I'm explaining and the system being rigged against men and that it is a female first world we live in? Thank you very much for watching.